I hope nobody heard that.
No, but there you go, gentlemen. You are live.
Okay. Okay. Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. I'm Brother William Valentino, and welcome to Sovereign Military Order of the Holy Trinity Temple Knights YouTube ministry. And today we have some special guests, Grandmaster Dan Satterley and Grand Chaplain Rob. I'm not sure I can get your name last name right.
That's okay. It's Pineda.
Pineda, okay? And I'm Deputy Marshal Keith Hatfield. This is a little thing where each member is going to describe their role in the order and a little bit about their Christian background. Oh, yeah. I hope everybody enjoys it. Grandmaster, would you like to start?
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Dan Satterley, so Grandmaster Dan Satterley. We formed this order about 3 years ago, and it has exceeded everything that I thought it would be at this point. And I'd like to say that's happened because of the great people we have. A little bit about myself. I'm Roman Catholic. I was raised of a Protestant denomination. I was Methodist, and it was just my personal beliefs or feelings, and I ended up switching over to Roman Catholic about 8 years ago. One thing, when we put this order together, it was decided that we would 100% be ecumenical, so that all Christian denominations could join, because the main thing is we have Jesus Christ in common, and that's what holds us all together, and that's our bond, our glue together is our Lord Jesus Christ. From there, some of the stuff that I wanted when I thought about this order, because I had joined 2 other orders before we formed this one, and the first one is I won't mention any of them by name or whatever, but the first one is a very fine order, great people, but it was more kind of like they used it almost as their church, and that's not what this should be, in my opinion. It's not what this should be at all. Just like the original Templars, we're not their own church, So we're not our own church. All of us are required to be a member of a church and support our local church. But this is separate, but it is still, this is all Christian related here. And some of the goals that I had when I envisioned this was like the preservation of Christendom. Okay, because I see Christianity as kind of under attack throughout the world, and we're becoming more and more seen as villains and all like that. So, but one of the things with this order of Templar Knights is preservation of Christendom, which is just all of Christianity. That's all I see. All of Christianity is what I see as Christendom. Okay, and then the next thing, what I was hoping for with this is a vehicle for us to improve upon ourselves as Christians, and then in other values. The study of chivalry, the concept of chivalry, of virtue, of the concept of knighthood, and what that makes a person, make ourselves even better than we were before we started this journey. And I could see that. I could see a lot of that happening with all of us. I see it in my own life, and so this is much more than just a gathering of people with a common interest. This is, now for me, it's a way of life. It's very important to me. I think about it every day, and it becomes part of, if I set about doing something to hit some confusion or something, I might think, what should a knight, what should a Templar knight do? What should a Christian do? And I see those as one and the same. I mean, Templar knights are Christians, but we hold ourselves to even a little bit higher standard than the average person. So, is there anything else there, Brother William?
No, that's great, Grandmaster.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the time.
Yeah, thank you for your words. Yeah, Grand Chaplain Rob, are you ready?
Yes, I sure am. Thank you, by the way, for putting this together, Brother William. This is really great, and thank you, Tom. We really appreciate all the efforts that you put in for getting this together for us. And one thing that I really like about our order is that, as the Grand Master was saying, that we are ecumenical. And as the Grand Chaplain, I see and talk to a lot of different people with different various ecclesiastical backgrounds. It's an honor, really, to see us all come together in the name of Christ, regardless of our particular denominational differences. I myself I'm a Reformed Christian, so I'm creedal, which means that I do follow, the creeds that we all do here at the order. That would be the Apostles' Creed, the Nicene Creed. That's something that we all hold together as believers. Where I would probably have something more distinct, maybe, would be in that the creeds that we follow, for example, in my fellowship, would be something called the Three Forms of Unity. And that would be the Canons of Dort, the Heidelberg Catechism, and the Belgic Confession. So that's who I am right now. Now, I wasn't always this doctrinal of a person. I used to come from a more non-denominational kind of setting. My background was more of, sort of like what you would see in some of the mega churches nowadays. That was sort of where my background was. But as I got older in years and God reached out into my life, I realized I wanted to learn more about who he was and is, and the fact that he is eternal. So I wanted to learn more about his nature and how that applies to me and how I respond to others. And so that's where I started going into my theological education. And I do have a Bachelor's of Science in Theology, a Master of Divinity, and I'm still actually a student. I am still in a doctoral program right now that's going to take a little while. I'm in my 40s, so it's a little hard when life, as you all know, life can get real busy. I also teach during the year at a Christian hybrid program, and so you may be familiar with an organization called Classical Conversations, and so I teach and guest lecture with different groups with that. And I'm the minister for Grace Covenant Ministries and for Grace Covenant Fellowship, and we're located here in the Central Florida area. So that's my basic background. But that whole idea of us being ecumenical has really been a huge thing for me. I see so much division within the Christian world. We have different denominations just represented on this call, this interview right now, and yet we still get along just great. We understand that we have some differences, but we also know of what we have in common. And for me, as the chaplain, that's something that I find a lot of love for, and something that I find a lot of compassion with, is that we acknowledge Christ is the only way. Regardless of where we go to church on Sunday mornings, we can come together at a Templar event or discussion, and I know when I talk to the Grand Master that he's not going to say there is some other way. He knows that Jesus Christ is the only way. And that means so much to me, that people from different backgrounds and different spiritual ancestry, we can get together and still worship the one true God of the whole universe. And we saw that when we had our investiture ceremony, that we had different people from different places, and yet we had a great time. And not only that, but we honored God in that unity. And so when we look at the Templars as a whole, a lot of people have actually messaged me and asked me my spiritual background, and they said, well, you're a Templar, but how come how come you're not Roman Catholic like they were in the times of the Templars? And, you know, in a very gentle way, of course, I try to remind them that the church, as it would have been more appropriately called at that time, was different than anything that we see today. You know, when we look in church history, things were very different during the times of the Templars. It was very regional in many regards. And not only that, but even many of the beliefs and doctrines that we hold fast to in 2021 were not the same during the times of the Crusades. Things were very different. The messages were the gospel has always stayed the same, of course, and I think we would all agree to that. But the method of preaching that doctrine or conveying what it means, things were different in those time frames. And that's something Grand Master had actually mentioned before in a thread, I believe, on Facebook, probably about a year ago. Someone had questioned that. And he even said, many people that would call themselves Catholic today would not be considered Catholic maybe during that time frame in history. And if I'm misrepresenting that there, Grand Master, please step in.
No, you're fine.
But I really am very honored to be here in my role as Grand Chaplain. You know, my role is to, I'm on the Grand Council, so I'm here to offer spiritual advice and guidance to the Grand Council. I'm also here for just the individual members. You know, I've had people contact me in private ways, wanting some guidance maybe in a particular area, or they were looking for ideas on theological education. And so I'm here for everyone in that spiritual capacity. I do have another responsibility with our order, and that is that I'm the prior for the Priory of St. Brendan the Navigator. So if you live in the United States, you are part of our priory. If you are in the territories of the United States, you are in our priory. And as the prior, I'm responsible for the well-being of our priory members, and obviously, you know, we work with people across the pond as well. We have many brothers and sisters all over the globe, thankfully. And you know, we try to get some events going, and that's something that we are looking at doing some more get-togethers. And so I hope if you live in the United States and you want to be part of some of our events, granted, a lot of us live in Florida. Florida, we are a kicking state when it comes to the order. We really are. We are very active here, and I'm very fortunate to be down here with such a great group of people. But even if you live somewhere else, please, you know, don't hide in Facebook. You know, get with us, communicate with us so that we know that you're there in your particular state or location, because we're very interested in seeing more events like we've had in Florida happen where even you live. So I think I talked enough here. I think it's time for me to be quiet.
All right.
Okay, thank you, Grand Chaplain. Wow, Brother Keith, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the floor is yours.
All right. Thank you, brother. My name is Keith Hatfield. I am the Deputy Marshal for this fine order. I've been here a little over a year, and I have really learned a lot, and I really have enjoyed my time here. I've met some great people. I hope to continue growing with this order, and would like to see more participation from our members. And the more participation we get, the larger we can grow, and the stronger we can grow as an order. Now, my Christian background has been very wide. As a kid growing up in a small town, we attended a Baptist church for many years. As I got older, of course, you get away from it, you lose sight of certain things, you start raising kids, and sometimes you just get too busy. Within the last several years, I've been making my way back to the church, reading every day, reading the Bible every day. And I'm also now a member of a St. Luke's church here in Oviedo, fairly a large church. My wife's a member. We've had our son go there through 8 years of school there. Now he's graduated high school. But I've been all over many different churches, different views. But I've always wanted to become a knight, and becoming a Knight Templar has set me deeper into the Christian faith. And I've recently been learning more about the Roman Catholic ideas, which is I like to read on them. I love learning. I think it's a great way of life. It's helped. I believe it's helped me with my marriage and work, and I find myself helping more and more people. So, so
Uh-oh, did we lose everybody? Hello? Hello?
Hey, this is Rob. I got kicked out. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, I lost everyone for a moment there.
Just keep on going. You guys are fine. You're all still technically there, so just keep on going. You're okay.
Okay.
all right. I don't know where y'all lost me at, but I had turned the floor over to William a minute or two ago.
Okay, yeah, we didn't hear that, I think.
Okay. Brother William.
He's probably kind of lost in the signal there, just like I was a moment.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I don't
So,
know exactly
If I
what
could
happened.
take a moment, I do have another short thing I do want to talk about while we're waiting for Brother William to come back. And that's just some of our organization. You know, as Grand Master, I'm responsible for the overall direction of the order, but I certainly don't do that alone. You know, so one of the things I'm supposed to do and is set up a Grand Council, is what we call it. And so that consists of myself, the Grand Chaplain, the Grand Seneschal, and the Grand Marshal. And with that, the four of us come together and major decisions and major ideas for what direction should we go with certain things. That all goes through the Grand Council, because if I'm making all the decisions, you know, we're limited to what one guy comes up with, and I'm just a group of people, and all of our people, our senior corps officers, are just outstanding people, and so I think we've done a really good job with direction for the order. And Knight Lieutenant, I'm sorry, Deputy Marshal now, Keith Hatfield, has done a spectacular job of running the academy. And so all of our new people come in, they go through some training, some education. There's certain things that are required of people for the learning and all like that before they even work up to sergeant. So you start out as a companion at arms, and then once you meet certain requirements and time requirements and accomplishments, you'll go up to sergeant, and then there's more time that must be served and more things that must be accomplished, and then you're eligible for knighthood. And like Grand Chaplain Rob Pineda was talking about, the investiture ceremony. We just had one in May in Florida, and the year before that, in the month of March, we had one here in Texas. And I know COVID-19 has played a role in kind of slowing down our face-to-face meetings and all, especially for the people in Europe. They're much more restricted there, I think. But we want to get those face-to-face meetings, because I think I just posted this last week. Facebook is just a method of communication, and it's a method of kind of sticking together to communicate with one another. But that's what it is, communication. Whereas we need actual face-to-face people gathering together, with as it says in the gospel, where there's 2 or 3 gathered together. And so Facebook is great for when that's all you have, but if you can do more, in-person meetings is really, really what we need and what we want to continue doing and grow upon. So with that, Brother William, are you on now?
Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, good. I've turned.
Yeah, I got completely cut off.
Okay.
And I had to dial back in.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be quiet and let you go, brother.
Okay, I'm Brother William Valentino. Myself and Sir Tom Grady, we operate and run Order's YouTube channel here. Of course, I'm Roman Catholic. Was raised Roman Catholic up until about 1974. But after that, I kind of moved around between different aunts and uncles and lived alone until I graduated high school in 79. So kind of went to a First Christian church at different denominations for those next 5 years. And of course, I went in the Army in 79, spent 9 years. And during that time, religion had no place in my life. So didn't have time to bother with it. And after I got out, I was still out of church for about another decade, until I was invited to a Baptist church there in Gainesville, Florida, which has 4,200 members. And the first thing they did was brought me into the usher ministry, where I served 8 years as chairman, co-chair, and captain. In 2019, I stepped down and let somebody younger take the job, because it was stressing me out. And I decided to return to my roots. I returned to the Catholic Church in 2019, where I'm currently a full-time member. But I am a chaplain, so on the outside of the order, and I run my own street ministry right now. I also have a hospital and home visitation, but that's on definite hold right now. They're not letting you visit hospitals unless you're a family member and stuff. So I just got my street ministry going, where I go out to groups, homeless people up around the interstates. I know they group that. And that's a pretty good thing. It keeps me active and, of course, operating out of your pocket. So that it's a little bit expensive, but I can handle it, and I'm happy to do it. Because I've been a member of this order since February 2020. And I love it here. We have a good core group of officers and knights. Some of them I got to meet face to face. This past January, I'm going to an investor ceremony here, and I found that they're no different in person than they are on Facebook and Messenger. So you get the real deal either way. And we're hoping that this channel expands more as it goes on. Hopefully we'll get more members so we can kind of spread out the word. But this is primarily a ministry here. And this is a good way to get God's message out, which is our job both as Christians and Templars. So we serve God first and foremost. And one of the ways we do that is by spreading God's word to the lost, is one way to put it. And I have asked several people who were kind of asking, to check us out and see if they want to join. Yeah. Really, that's about all I had to say. I thank you all.
Well, thank you, Brother William and Brother Tom, for setting us up. Really appreciate it.
Our pleasure.
Well, thank you, William.
Okay, I think I'm about concluded. I don't know. Do any of the rest of you have anything more to add?
No.
I would just like to just encourage everyone to just continue to be as active as they're able. I mean, I think it's important for us to, acknowledge that we know that people are busy in life. You have jobs, and more importantly, you have families that you can't neglect. And we want you to be very involved in your family's life, your church life. But please try to be as active as you are able with the order. We sometimes don't hear from somebody that we've seen a lot, and then all of a sudden they're kind of gone for a while. We don't know, are they okay? Drop us a line. Just shoot us a quick little message. Let us know that you're okay. If you need prayer, if you need, any advice from any of us, please let us know. We don't want to neglect anyone, and we do care about you, but sometimes we don't know where everyone is in life. And so, communication is key. And, in Florida, we are going to be doing some more activities as we're able. We're going to be getting a few people together here to do some discussion soon. Please keep in touch with us about that if you're interested. We really want to see much more involvement. So that's all that I have.
Oh, you have anything, Brother Keith?
I think I'm pretty good. Just keep on living right, fellas. Doing the right thing. And I will say this, that participation, following Jesus Christ, and spreading the word is free. Doesn't cost anybody anything except a little time.
Because as Christians, though, it's part of our mission as Christians to be ministers. Now, you don't have to be ordained and stuff, but we are tasked with the job of spreading God's word. Because the ministers are few. We are many.
Yes.
So we can spread the word to more people. Now, you can do it every day. Be nice to somebody.
It doesn't cost a thing to be nice.
Hold the door for them.
Yeah.
And kind of mention something to them. But sometimes you don't know what their mood is. You be kind, you show them kindness, you just might have made their day.
That's right.
Amen.
Amen.
Well, fellas, it's been great, and we should probably do this again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this has been great. Thank you all for your time and all.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for taking some time out of the day to be here. Truly appreciate it.
Quite welcome. Thank you, brother.
Everyone have a wonderful weekend and have a blessed Lord's Day tomorrow.
Probably Monday I'll have my next podcast sent to Tom to be posted.
Okay, we look forward to it.
Yeah, looking forward.
That would be on Revelations 2:6-10.
Okay.
Excellent.
Looking forward to it.
All right, then.
Okay, have a blessed day, everybody.
Okay,
all right, guys.
As well.
Okay.
Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Tom.
You're absolutely welcome. And the stream.
Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome. And the stream
That's why
is.
Tom's the brains behind this, and I'm the
That's
messenger.
right.
I wouldn't go that far, but we're okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very
all
much.
have a blessed weekend.